Hello, and welcome back to Gateway Homeworld. Well, Gateway to Homeworld. Let's see. When we last left off, we had just gotten the nav. No, not the nav thingy. We got the field generator. That's right. We want to get the other two things. Look at panel. I don't think we actually flew anywhere, so let's fly somewhere. Let's see. We can go to the administration planet, the city hangar, archaeological dig sites where we got the field generator. Well, let's go to the administration planet. We haven't been there in a while. The transport rockets away from the barren homeworld and soon deposits itself safely inside a hangar tube berthed in the administration complex. Okay, let's go down. Docking area. This is the docking area for the place of administration. The hangar where you originally landed in the core. Other ships are berthed against the walls, and Hichi technicians mill around them. A phalanx of small, sleek probes are set aside off in a special berth. Behind a window, high in the north wall, you can make out a command area. Below it, you see a stout metal door. A hallway leads to another large chamber to the east. One of the technicians approaches you. Ah, you're the human that was through here before. I saw you then, but I didn't really get a chance to speak to you. I'm glad you returned. Let me tell you a little about this place before I get back to work. As you already know, this is the administrative center of the Corps. The High Council is located here, and make all laws and directives for all the Hichi. That's why you were brought here when you arrived from outside. What you probably didn't know is that this is also the Corps' information center. We gather data from everywhere, both inside and outside the black hole. You might have thought that we were cut out from the galaxy. And admittedly, to some degree we are. But we have many ways to get information from the outside. For example, you see those probes lined against the wall there? We send those out into the galaxy occasionally. They're much better than sending living Hichi. They're small, fully equipped with the latest sensory equipment, and capable of automatically piercing the black hole's event horizon. They're slow, because they don't have the power of the bigger ships, but they're reliable. We send them out, and a few years later, they come back bursting with data. The information is routed through the command room up there. He points one of his forefingers towards the window in the hangar wall. It's analyzed and cataloged by scientists, real researcher types. I think the job is rather boring, but it doesn't matter anyway. I couldn't get into the command center if I want to. Only authorized science personnel are allowed inside. I guess us techs aren't smart enough to be trusted with the equipment. I don't know why though. Targeting the probes is really easy. I've seen the system and no special training is needed. Yeah. It's set up just like navigation computers on board most spacecraft. Just punch in the coordinates and press the button, and boom, it's away. Yay. It's been nice talking to you, but I have to get back to work. The council chamber is off to the east, and if that's why you're here. I wouldn't expect to get in and see them without a summons, though. They're always busy. Feel free to look around as much as you want. Well, with that, the technician returns to take around with one of the berth ships. That was very useful to know, because now we can look at probes. Phalanx of sleek metal deep space probes are lined against the wall of the docking area. They're loaded with every type of sensor and measuring device you can imagine, and many you can't. They're only about 3 meters tall, but appear to be too heavy to carry. So, if these things are sent out from, out of the black hole, that means they probably have nav chips. So, if they are that easy to get to, well, let's try. I mean, if they're that easy to use, let's try and use one. So you step up to a thick metal door. A spherical sensor pokes out of the wall and seems to sniff you all over. It focuses on the science badge, sniffs a bit more, and pings. The sensor retracts, the door opens, and you step through it. Because I'm a scientist. For science. Your score has gone up by 10. For science. Command center. The window in the southern wall overlooks the entire docking area. Under it you find a long counter filled with various instruments and controls. One console set to the side is labeled Probe Targeting. The room is deserted. Stairs lead down to the docking area. Okay, so I guess we should target a probe. Use Console. Console. Oh, I cannot spell. I keep forgetting. Look at... I keep forgetting that use is not actually a thing. Right. Okay, so this is exactly the targeting computer, but I don't remember what the coordinates are. So let's go back to my ship and take a look. Up. Look at panel. So temple site is a mostly full one. Let's click on it. 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom, another mostly full one, and then a duck. You can see it looks like a duck. Here's the head. Here's like where its body would be, and then tail feathers. Okay, so let's go back down, and then north, and look at console. Okay, so let's see. That one, and then that one. And that one, and then that one. Oh, it even goes all green, so I know it's a legitimate location. Zoom! You hear a loud roar as one of the probes from the hangar fires into the air. Your score has gone up by 10. Cool. So that should hopefully deliver a nav chip right to the White Hand, and I don't even have to do anything for it. Let's see, a reception area. High bright blue walls of this chamber are almost blinding. To the north, you see 2 huge doors. A sign next to them says, High Council Room. Busy-looking Hichi sits behind a desk to the east, studying an appointment book. Occasionally, he looks up, but only to see if you've left yet. Just beyond a decorative plant, you see a small exit to the southeast. The sign there reads simply, Do not enter. The hallway leads back to the docking area to the west. Well, let's go into the High Council Room. You walk up to the huge council room doors, but don't see any way to open them. Okay, talk to receptionist. Of course it's lovely to talk with you, but I have so much to do. Perhaps you should talk to the technicians in the docking area. They usually have time to gossip. Wow, what a jerk. Let's check this southeast area. Because if it says do not enter, I totally should enter. This appears to be an ordinary hallway, but something doesn't seem quite right. Along the wall are dozens of tiny lenses whose function is not immediately evident. Stairs lead back up to the reception area to the northwest, and hallway opens into a dark room to the east. Well, let's save, just to be on the safe side. Experiment. East. Cautiously, you inch down the hallway. As you come even with the first lens, you feel a sudden stabbing pain in your hand. You look down to see a trickle of blood from a razor-sharp wound. Slowly, you return to the western end of the hallway and think over your options. So apparently there's some sort of security system here, which means I will need to eventually bypass it. Because that's how these types of games work, folks. I don't know, there's only one of you watching right now, so... well... I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure where I was going with that. Look at panel. Alright, well, so we got a nav chip, so all we need is a lens, and I'm pretty sure we know where there is one in this main city itself. Transport shoots out of the hangar tube. This from the surface of the planet. The ship weaves through blindingly bright stars and towards another fully settled world. You touch down inside a hangar, very similar to the one you left. Down. So we're in the city hangar. So, as you may recall, from the guide thing inside the place of seeing, there is a lens underneath the observatory, which seems to be this way. But it was blocked by this sewer. But now we kind of have a way to get across it. Because if you remember what was it? Exogenus? Whatever the hell this guy's name was. When the White Hand guy told us about the field generator, he said that it can turn liquids as hard as rock. So let's put field generator in sewage. You place the generator on the semi-solid sewage. It slowly begins to sink. Push button. Button. You press the button on the black box and red light flashes in response. Generator stops sinking as the slimy surface immediately congeals. You touch your finger to the sewage and discover that it's as hard as rock. Your score has gone up by 15. You know what? Yeah, okay, so north. What do I have with me? I am going to put pouch on ground. I have a reason I'm doing this, but I will explain it when it actually matters. Put thermos on ground. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure if I go, yeah, west or east, it's just smaller shafts for only a few meters where they dead end. You immediately return to the main tunnel. So it is just straight to here. So you spot the end of the maintenance shaft. It opens to a vertical tube that has the circumference of a large room. The tube extends up beyond your range of vision and down to a floor that is barely visible far below. Rungs are placed in the wall at 1 meter intervals. As you glance up and down the shaft, you notice rings of sensors set into the walls every 20 meters or so. So let's see, look at sensors. Velocity sensors are placed at regular intervals up and down the lift tube. Look up. As far than you can see, look down. You can just make out the gleaming floor of the lift tube far below. It's quite a drop. Now, if you remember, the guide thing explained that if the thing was ever to go into free fall, or if anything was to go into free fall, the sensors would pick it up and it would reveal the gravity lens to stop it from falling. So let's jump down. You leap into the middle of the lift tube from your safe haven in the maintenance shaft. As you plummet downwards, you see the sensors in the wall start to light up as you pass them. The ground rushes towards you. It doesn't look good. Then suddenly you hear a loud buzz. A metal disc opens in the floor below. Inside, you see a mysterious sparkle of light. Suddenly, your rate of acceleration slows. Gravity seems to have reversed itself. You come to a halt in midair, about a meter from the floor. Hovering just over the open metal disc, you can now make out a small curved reflective lens just inside. The metal disc begins to close. Your score has gone up by 20. So since it's closing, let's quickly take the lens. You slide the lens out of the socket. As soon as the contact is broken, the lens stops glowing and you fall to the ground. Your score has gone up by 10. Now, if I try to climb up, you find that holding objects in your hands makes climbing the rungs impossible. The metal disc seals itself tight. So, if I put the lens in the pod, I can now climb up. Now, if I had other things, I would have to put all of them in the pod, and the problem is, you only have so much room that you can put stuff in the pod, and if I had to leave something down there and then take things out, put them down, climb back down, grab the item, come back up, that's just a pain in the ass. So I just figured I'd leave it up there. Okay, now let's try something. Save. Let's try another experiment. Let's see, now that there's no lens there, let's jump down again. You leap into the middle of the lift tube from your safe haven in the maintenance shaft. As you plummet downwards, you see the sensors in the wall start to light up as you pass them. The ground rushes towards you. It doesn't look good. Then suddenly you hear a loud buzz. If you hadn't removed the gravity lens, perhaps you would have saved some poor Hichi the work of scraping you off the bottom of the nice clean lift tube. As it is, splat! I never tried that. I thought it'd be kind of amusing. Okay. Well, that was that. So, see a thermos and pouch here. Get all. South. You chase over the sewage. On the sewage, you see a field generator. So, push. Button. You depress the button, the light stops flashing, the sewage becomes liquid again, and the generator begins to sink. Take generator. If you leave it in there too long, it will sink. I don't know if there's a way to get yet another generator. Somehow I don't think there is, so don't do that. Okay, south. So that's all 3 items. We've got them now. So I guess we might as well go and give them to the White Hand. And yeah, now the place of seeing is in fact a death trap, because nothing will stop that thing from falling anymore. Oops! Okay, look at the panel. Back to the temple. And go! The transport shoots out of the hangar tube and lifts from the surface of the planet. Yeah, we've already seen this. I'm curious what would happen if I shot a probe at, like, the other locations. But you know what? This was the only location that really mattered, so whatever. A small metallic object perched on a nearby stone spire seems to wake up. Yeah. Yeah, I don't need you to describe this place. Alright. Behind the table sees a close Hichi. The Hichi behind the table looks up and speaks. Okay. I'm back. Did you miss me? I must admit that I was somewhat worried. If Fogram discovered our plan, he might not let the fact that you are human dissuade him from lifting you. Hey, what'd you guys do with the probe? I retargeted it and you went and dragged it off. We stripped the probe of all its technology, including the nav data chip. We have it here safe. I've got a generator and the lens. What do I need now? My congratulations, human. I didn't believe that it was possible. Oh, convergence. This one's convergence. Which one was exogesis? I don't know. Convergence takes the 2 components from you and disappears with them. In a moment, he re-enters the room. Even as we speak, technicians are installing the components on your ship. Soon you will be free from the hold of the Council. It is a shame, however, that you have no way to overtake your enemies. If only we had the trans-warp drive theories. Ah, a pity. Farewell, my friend. Wait, what? What's a trans-warp drive? Well, faster than light drives all tend to travel at approximately equivalent speeds. A long time ago, an inventor known as Solifluxion developed theories for a trans-warp drive, a drive that would increase the speed of a ship exponentially. The theories were lost along with the inventor in a tragic accident. Well, who the hell is this guy? Coincidentally, Solifluxion was the engineer who spearheaded the shield generator project that you completed. Because the project was so controversial, he had to be active politically as well as technically. The Council was divided in its support. Many who wished to remain in the galaxy backed Solifluxion. Others, led by then High Councilman Fogram, wanted to hide from the assassins in the core. When Solifluxion died in the accident, Fogram cemented his power. He took the Hichi into the black hole and left the shield generators inactive. Okay, what kind of accident did he have? When Solifluxion was working on one of the shield generator sites, the energy converters overloaded. The resulting explosion completely destroyed Solifluxion. There was nothing left to lift into the mass mines, so he was gone forever. Some might have suspected that Fogram, the then living High Councilman, had something to do with the accident, if it had not been unthinkable. Stable Hichi don't have the capacity to harbor such malice. Why didn't they make the drive when he was still alive? The technology didn't exist at the time. Remember, this was hundreds of thousands of years ago. The shame is that now, if only we had the plans, we do have the technology to implement his theories. Didn't anyone else learn his theories? There's only one other who might know, but we tried to contact him for years, without success. Solifluxion had 2 companions in his work. The first was his father, Asatine. He had been lifted some time before. Solifluxion then carried him everywhere in his pod. They were inseparable. It was presumed that his father was destroyed in the accident that claimed his life. The other Hichi is known as Raphaid. Wait a second. Aside from his father, Raphaid was Solifluxion's closest companion. He was also first in his technical team. Soon after Solifluxion's death, Raphaid was lifted. Since then, he has sequestered himself from any outside contact. All messages sent to him bounce back unread. Raphaid? I got a message from him about my lectures. He wanted me to speak about the shield generators. Is he the same guy? You received a message from Raphaid? This is unprecedented. But then, you engaged the shield generators. Naturally he'd be interested in how they worked. This is incredible. We must use this opportunity to draw him out. It so happens that I have some information that Raphaid will find interesting. We can use it to bring him to you. Settle yourself, for I have to tell you a story. Uh-oh. Ages ago, before the great exodus into the core, the High Council was led by Fogrum. Solifluxion and Fogrum were dire political enemies, and their factions divided the council. Fogrum wanted to hide from the foe, while Solifluxion wanted to divert the assassins' attention as the Hichi remained in the galaxy, and made ready to confront them. Solifluxion had enough clout to begin the shield generator project. Indeed, almost enough to see it to its conclusion. Solifluxion was aided by his dead father, Astatine, but one day, while they were testing the power of the core in one of the generators, a bizarre energy field erupted. The radiation scrambled the data store that contained his father's personality. Astatine did not die, but he went insane, and he was in pain every moment of his existence. With Raphaid's support, Solifluxion petitioned the council to erase Astatine's personality. Fogrum denied it. Solifluxion believed that Fogram's decision was a personal attack. He began a political campaign to depose Fogrum, which gained followers at an alarming rate. He might have made a real difference in Hichi history if a tragic explosion had not claimed his life. His body was destroyed before he could be lifted. All assumed that Astatine was destroyed as well, so the point of the rebellion became moot. It was unthinkable by the peace-loving Hichi race that Fogrum could have engineered the accident. Sane Hichi simply cannot commit crimes of that magnitude. The death of Solifluxion cemented Fogram's power, though. The Hichi fled into the black hole and left the shield generators to someone else to activate. Soon after, Raphaid died and was lifted into the mass mines. This is all common knowledge. What follows is not. Somehow, Fogrum managed to save Astatine from the accident. Despite his insanity, Solifluxion's father was still a technical genius. Fogrum had many uses for his knowledge. Even today, Fogrum uses Astatine for his personal projects. Bois? Where can this Raphaid hide? Isn't he dead? He hides inside data space. An ancient ancestor can hide more effectively than any living being. By creating wards or programmed shields, he has effectively diverted or repulsed all attempts to contact him. How did Fogrum rescue Astatine? I don't know. The only ones who were there were Fogrum and Raphaid. Perhaps they know something that the story doesn't tell. What's Fogrum doing with Astatine now? Where is he? Fogrum is using Astatine on something called the Asthemis project. The name is derived from one of the astral constellations inside the core. Its purpose is top secret. Even I have been unable to discover it. The project is located somewhere in the place of learning. What's going to draw out Raphaid? Raphaid was Solifluxion's strongest supporter. He was very vocal about the need to destroy Astatine after the accident. If history is correct, Raphaid will do anything to erase him once he discovers that Fogrum has kept him alive. Okay, how am I going to get the message to Raphaid? You are the opportunity that the hand has been waiting for. For the first time, we know of something that interests Raphaid. We know that he must be watching your lectures. You must slip a message directed at Raphaid into your next speech. However, it shouldn't be obvious. We don't want to alert Fogrum. Direct your statement not to Raphaid, but to the Hichi that asked you about the shield generators. Tell him that his old associate's father still lives. Raphaid will not be able to resist contacting you to learn more. What should I do once I've contacted him? As soon as you've spoken to Raphaid, return here. I'll try to interpret what he had to say. Perhaps he will even tell you the transwarp drive theories. If not, he may give a much-needed clue. How do you know all this? What's to keep Raphaid from calling me a liar? Oh my god! That's like the weirdest reveal ever. You are correct. You need something to prove that you aren't lying. Exegesis pulls back and... See, I knew it was exegesis! I just was getting the names mixed up because of something else. When the light strikes his features, you... Oh, wait. Recognize him as convergent. Oh, there was a typo. They've been calling him convergence for a while now instead of calling him exegesis. Ha 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 ha. Convergence, the second seat of the council. You recognize me? Good. Tell Raphael you learned of Acetine's plight from Convergence. He'll believe you. Wow. I found a code mistake. I never even noticed that before. Okay. Why do you hide your identity? Although the council does not publicly condemn the hand, if it was known that I was a member, much less the leader, it would be political suicide. Even if I remained a member of the council, I would be impotent. Fogram would have no opposition. Alright, I'm off to do some good. So be it. Return if you wish to speak again. So, how's that for an information dump? Okay. And back to the city planet. Look panel. Look at panel. See, now Earth is there, because I could, in fact, go to Earth. Actually, I'm curious what would happen if I try to go to Earth. Let us find out. Save. Experiment. Look at panel again. Earth. Go! You engage the computer, and the ship blasts off from the ancestral homeworld. The transport soon streaks out of the cluster of inhabited planets and into the barrier of the black hole. Your newly repaired mechanism kicks in, and the ship slips through unscathed. Creepy music is creepy. As soon as you reach the far side, the transport rockets into Tau space. Weeks pass. When the ship finally emerges, you see your home planet floating in space ahead. At first, everything looks normal, but a closer scan of the surface reveals that the assassins have already arrived. Cities lie in ruin. Most of the land is scarred and blackened. Although the foe couldn't have beat you here by more than a few days, all life has been destroyed. You aren't forced to mourn, however, because your ship is almost immediately destroyed by an assassin watcher. So, that is why you do not want to go to Earth just yet. Okay, so look at panel again, and let's go instead to the city hangar. Yada yada yada. Okay, let's go down. Well, let's just go down to the place of learning, and then we will call it a day. So we got a lot of information. That was pretty important. In fact, they gave a really huge clue for a couple of things. The attendant speaks a few words into his headset, looks up and says, "I've scheduled the lecture for an hour from now. An escort should be here shortly. Please wait here for him." He immediately returns to his work and takes no more notice of you. So, yeah, there is a bunch of important clues about upcoming stuff in that huge text dump. So I'm going to let that mull over in your head. If you want to go back and watch earlier videos to see if you can figure out what is connected to what, I'll let you do that. Because for now, wait until 10:25. Okay, and we're going to save here and do the lecture and Raphael stuff afterwards. So until then, have yourselves a wonderful day. I'm playing a game!